All right, my Libra friends, how are you today? Aaron here bringing you your monthly horoscope for June of 2020. We've got a beautiful month ahead of us. Little disclaimer, this is important understanding why I didn't put out the May's. If you're new to this channel, I didn't put out May horoscopes. I'm putting out the June ones here, and I just want to talk about it for a brief moment. It's about knowing our charts. As an astrologer, it's important to me to give out accurate information that's going to help empower and inspire you to live a happy, peaceful, abundant life, right? And to find the silver linings in the challenges that come through each day. Now, personally, I'm a 2 degrees Virgo rising, and I have a wonderful friend that's a 28 degrees Virgo rising. When we do horoscopes is from astrology point, it's usually the sun, the rising sign, not the sun. We can check our sun and our moon or our Venus, but it really has to do with where the hour of the time you were born of where the sun was at determines your rising, and that's where all the houses fall into play, right? So as a 2 degree Virgo, okay, when I read the chart from Virgo standpoint, it makes a lot of sense for me. For my friend who is a 28 degree Virgo rising, it's almost as if she's better off reading or listening to a Libra horoscope, okay? So it's important, as you see this chart here, I've got it 0 degrees Libra. Well, like, for example, we're going to have a solar eclipse coming up right here, okay, at 0 degrees of Cancer. And unless you're a 0 degrees, that's most likely not going to be in your 10th house, but it's going to fall most likely in your 9th house. But as the chart reads, it's going to be the 10th. So this long-winded story is please, know your chart to where this is going to line up and affect you, all right? Or how this is lining up and affecting you. And as I walk through this, now let's just get right into it here. All right, so on the 3rd of the, look at this right off the gate. Look at this is on June 1st. Look at all of this energy. You got the moon in your sign right off the gate. All of this beautiful septiles here to change, change in government and structure in the home front, following your dreams, following your intuition, travel, higher knowledge. They got this beautiful trine to the sun, to Venus, which is retrograde. Venus retrograde in your 9th house. This is about understanding deeper sense of knowledge, philosophy, religion. Okay, all of these things are coming up into question for my Libra friends this month, right? Why? Why do I believe this religion? Why do I believe this philosophy? Is there some thing that I've been told or trained? Have I been produced to think this way? And this is saying, look, this is up to you, and how you choose to go about it. So we have the Sun-Venus conjunction happening here on June 3rd, okay, which is also going to quincunx the moon here in Scorpio. So that's going to be this annoying feeling because the sun is the hero of the story. Venus, this is you, your ego, this is your expression of self, and this is the things that you love, want, and desire, things that you're wearing, the people that you love, right? Jewelry, fashion, clothing, all of these things, the car you drive, whatnot. So the moon coming into Scorpio is this deep, deep passion. This is an emotional need for these deep, deep emotions. So this is highlighting, saying, is there something going on here that I need to rethink to express myself properly? And do I need, do I need flashy things, or, whatever it is, that's entirely up to you, independently personal to you. Either way, there's this deep sense of feeling that's an urge, and it's saying rethink some of these things. Why do I love, want, or desire these things, right? Now on the 5th, we have this beautiful lunar eclipse. So the sun is going to be here, all right, at 13 degrees of Gemini, okay? And then we've got the moon is going to be over here in Sagittarius, okay? So this is your 3rd house, most likely in the middle, right there in the middle, your 3rd house, 13 degrees, 13 degrees. Now the node's at 29 and 29. This is set up for the mean node, unfortunately, not the true node. True node is at 29 degrees of Gemini, 29 degrees of Sagittarius, okay? So we have, this eclipse is pretty far off of the node, okay? So anything within 18 degrees is what determines an eclipse. This being so far off the node, first, full moon is a full illumination, right? It's where the sun and the moon are in opposite sides, opposition, Gemini, Sagittarius. We're seeing the moon fully illuminated. The moon is our emotions, mother nurturing energy, right? And what about ourselves? It's also our safe place. You know, we lay our heads down in the safe space every day. We don't lay it down just on any random rock underneath any random tree, you know? So we stick to our safe space. So this is fully illuminating what that is of this safe space that we're accustomed to, and this is about knowledge, and this is going to separate. And specifically for you, this is dealing, you know, it's like it's they're opposites right now, where third house is Gemini and ninth house is Sagittarius. So for you, my Libra friends, you know, it's like your third house is Sagittarius and your ninth house is Gemini. So we have this role reversal thing happening. What is real? What is information? I always thought the expression, you know, we're born from the sins or with the sins of our parents, you know what I mean? And I've always looked at that, and it's just like, well, I like to break it down in this sense of, if you have a parent that says money doesn't grow on trees, you're going to believe that money doesn't grow on trees. It's difficult to find money. It's difficult to assess or acquire these things, you know? So it's like whatever we have ingrained or installed into our brains from a young age coming up, you know? So maybe it's all cops are bad. You know, we're dealing with a lot of that stuff going on right now with this authority stuff happening down here in Capricorn, or up in Capricorn, wherever. Right, so this could be like an idea or a concept maybe that you've been holding on to that just no longer serves. Okay, so this full moon eclipse, the eclipse part is we're going to see the shadow of Earth on the moon itself. Okay, so full moon, full illumination, but Earth is kind of in the middle. I mean, it's a little oblong off side of it, you know, it's pretty off the nodes. Either way, we're going to be seeing that shadow of Earth on the moon. So this is recognizing our own shadow about the information of what's right, what's wrong, what's the higher road, what's the highest path, what is the right religion. You know, it's like everybody says the same thing when it comes to religion. Oh, that's lovely, but mine is right and you should believe mine, you know? So it's just like, okay, well, where are we identifying our own shadow during this process? Because we all certainly have one, okay? So that's happening on the 5th. On the 13th here, we have Mars, all right? Mars is our planet of action here in your 6th house. Where are you going? Where are you going, my friends? You are actively seeking work. How are you, you know, this is about what services you're giving back to other people, right? Mars is going to align with Neptune. And at the same time, the moon is going to be about 1 degree off of this conjunction at 20 degrees. Okay. So we have emotional need, moon, dreams, imagination, and action. So where emotional need and action come together is aligning with your dreams and your imagination. Okay, so the sky is the limit. So what that means is whatever's happening here with all of this fate and destined energy, the top of the month, especially for you, my Libra friends, okay, really, really beautiful. As this is your first house, as this deals with you, you know, changing, you growing, you adapting, you stepping up and being the leader, you know, not being afraid to make waves, because the things that come out of your mouth, the things that you say, the things that you do are really inspiring to other people, and they need your diplomatic approach, right? So the first things that we're doing here, the first, you know, 2 weeks of June is really going to be affected on what the outcome here is on the 13th, or right there around, when Mars and Neptune and the moon all align together. Okay, very, 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 very powerful connection. On the 18th, Mercury, which is in your 10th house, this, you know, most likely is your 10th house, career, public image, how people see you, is going to be starting its retrograde on the 18th. Now, at the same time, Venus is also retrograde, and that's going to be until the 24th. Okay, so from the 18th to the 24th, those 6 days, we have both of our very personal, close planets, innermost planets, retrograde, which means a lot of rethinking, revisiting, reassessing, retuning, refining, not putting the carriage before the horse. Obviously, I will put out an in-depth Mercury retrograde video here in the sign of Cancer, so keep your eyes peeled for that. And I'll also put out a Sun-Venus conjunction video here. Again, that does happen on the 3rd, so that'll be out in the next couple of days. All right, so either way, Mercury retrograde, not putting the carriage before the horse, okay? And we have this interesting role reversal, just like you do here. You know, this is unique to you, my Libra friends, with 3rd house being Sagittarius, 9th house being Gemini, okay, where we have Venus is about love, wants, and desires, okay? Mercury is about communication and information. Now, Mercury rules Gemini, right? So we have Venus in the sign associated with Mercury. Looking at both sides of the coin, grass is not greener on the other side. It's okay to make a decision and stick with it as long as it's what I truly love, want, and desire. Things like that. So while Venus is focused on our mental thoughts, right? How do we feel? How do we think we feel about something? Okay. Well, Mercury is here in Cancer, which is all about our emotions. The underlying emotions that, we can see if someone's sad or someone's joyfully happy when they're expressing themselves to a magnitude. But in general, we don't know what people are dealing with, or sometimes they have a really wonderful way of hiding their emotions. And that's certainly what happens when we have anything move into the sign of Cancer. Things go hidden, just like our moon for a new moon. Things go hidden, our emotions are hidden. So this being about emotions, Mercury's thinking about emotions and Venus is feeling thoughts. Okay, so these two are really playing off of each other this month to make sure that our thoughts and our emotions are coming into an alignment. And the fact that Mars here is action orientated, also in a very loving place in Pisces, aligning with our dreams. So this is like, hey, you hold that, you feel with your heart and you think it with your head, and that comes into an alignment, and you can find a way that whatever makes you happy in life is for you to be a service to give back to other individuals. Oh, wow. This is going to be really, really powerful. Okay. On the 21st now, we have this solar eclipse, and this is what I'm talking about. So right here, the north node is going to be at 29 degrees of Gemini. South node, 29 degrees of Sagittarius. Now the sun and the moon, this is right on the solstice, right? So it's going to be at 0 degrees. Sun, moon, new beginning, new moon, new beginning, both in the sign of Cancer. So the moon moves home for this eclipse. Now this is about as exact as an eclipse is going to be, not as total as it was in August of 2017. That was a very it's probably the greatest solar eclipse of our lifetime. Okay. This only being a degree off of the nodes means it's extremely close, extremely powerful, extremely potent. The fact that the moon is home, this is a new beginning in emotions and how we feel. This is a new beginning in how we're expressing ourselves. For you, this is a new beginning in your career and how you're expressing yourself in your career and not being afraid. I know my Libra friends, we're on the fence sometimes about how to, it's all about diplomacy and wanting to keep things equal and balanced for you, and I respect the heck out of that. And this is saying, like, it's okay to be a bit radical in a sense, because I don't know if radical is the right word, but like learning to step outside of you being quiet for peace. What is this? Rising Appalachia, the song Medicine. And in the beginning of this song, it says, our silence and compliance rooted in violence is... I'm screwing the lyric up. Either way, Rising Appalachia, check out the song Medicine. It's just like, and if we're silent by being compliant, we're not saying and doing what we need to do, which is going to create the impact and the ripple that's necessary. We have to step into the water, and that water is going to make ripples. And if we're afraid to create those ripples and we stay small and stay on the beach instead of getting in the water because we're afraid to make those ripples, we're shorting ourselves as well as we're shorting the amount of fun and opportunity that others are going to have with our presence in the water, right? Okay, so that's the 21st, big solar eclipse. Now on the 23rd, Neptune's going to station retrograde. Okay, we're not going to feel this like we're going to feel Mercury and Venus and Mars coming up here in a few months, retrograde. But the beauty of Neptune retrograde is, again, like, hey, this is your dreams. This is your imagination. We want to make sure that we are obtaining our dreams. We're slowly going through. It takes 16, 17 years to go through the sign of Pisces. The beauty part of this retrograde isn't the retrograde itself, but it's the connections, the septiles that it's going to be making, which is fate and destined connections to these planets here in Capricorn. Okay, so potent, so powerful, as this is create the life of your dreams. All right, so we have to stay focused on what those dreams are. That's the 23rd. Now, Venus moves direct on the 24th, okay? So it'll be back here at about 5 degrees. Very exciting. On the 22nd through the 30th, Jupiter is going to conjunct Pluto for the second time. This is happening down here in your 4th house. This deals with authority, right? What is the authority within the household? What is the authority within family? Is there a misuse of authority? Right? We can see this already happening here, the United States with, the George Floyd thing, a misuse and abuse of authority, a misuse of power, and a need to change that, a necessary need to change that, So what's going on here with the home and family? Are you being respected properly? Right? We have to teach the dog to not pee on the floor. We teach the dog where to use the bathroom. This is the same when it goes with human interaction. We have to teach people how to treat us. We have to teach people our own boundaries and to not cross those boundaries, as well as other people are teaching us their boundaries and how not to cross them. So this can be either way. It can be an abuse of authority toward you, or, again, this is eclipse season. This could also, and we're seeing our own shadows, right? So this could be recognizing for the first time, potentially, your own abuse of authority and your own power, all right? Now, I love you, my Libra friends. I don't know, I doubt that's you, I bet it's something happening to you, but at the same time, we know that there's really no victimization, you know what I mean? It's what we allow. And if we have this here and somebody keeps breaking that down and we just keep allowing, we're not a victim at that point because we're allowing it to happen to us, right? So either way, so the 22nd through the 30th is like this beautiful realization, something with authority, something is going to change within this power structure, and this again is going to happen in your 4th house of home and family. Now on the 27th, Mars is going to enter Aries, which is your 7th house. What it's going to be there, drum roll, for 6 months. Mars will be in your 7th house for 6 months. I almost wish I was a Libra. All right, that's exciting. That's exciting because Mars is taking action in your relationships. Mars is saying, let's move forward in these relationships. Let's move forward. And it's also going to retrograde, which means it's going to rethink those relationships. However, it's spending a lot of time in your 7th house, which is just magical. It's not going to get into Taurus. It's literally going to go to 28, 29 degrees and then retrograde back. So all the way until January of 2021, after the 27th of June, Mars, from the 27th of June till January of 2021, will be in your 7th house of love, romantic partnerships, relationships. Okay, so it's very, very exciting times. It's also important that we recognize this shadow work that's coming up right now during eclipse season, that we recognize whatever is coming here on the 3rd, okay, with the Sun-Venus conjunction, which happens once every year and a half. It's powerful, okay? The Sun, it takes every 13 Venus years and 8 Earth years, they meet up 5 times, okay? These are Fibonacci numbers. This is sacred geometry, all right? So the 3rd is an extremely potent, powerful day, and having the moon in your 2nd house, dealing with finances, dealing with money, material goods, possessions, and again, Venus dealing with material goods, possessions, other people, it's very special for you this month. I'm being very serious. Not every sign gets the same. We don't. In January, it was like Capricorn. So there was all this Capricorn energy. So it's now how things are affecting you, this is aligning very beautifully and destined fate-like energy for you in the month of June. So my Libra friends, thank you as always for hanging out with me. It's such a pleasure to sit down and do this. If you know your own chart, you'll know exactly where all these things are lining up. If you have any questions, if you're interested in having a private reading, by all means, reach out to me. My email address is in the link below the video. So thank you. Have a beautiful month of June, and we'll see you tomorrow for the dailies.